Direct current technology has come a long way since your traditional Russian stim. In fact, we always knew that DC had this ability to get you out of pain and help retrain muscles. However, we also knew there was a secondary component of building strength and hypertrophy that we really didn't dive deep into. And then COVID happened. And as a strength and conditioning coach, that to me was an opportunity to dive a little deeper. So, because all the gyms were actually closed, I thought it was a perfect opportunity where I gave up the weights and I tried nothing but direct current as my workout, and I did it for an entire year. And the results blew me away. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ARP Neuro Live. And this is Direct Current Live. Hope you guys are doing well. And this is Direct Current Live Take 2. If you were here this morning and you tried to join in, I apologize. We had a few glitches going on. I had a glitch, of course. I had a glitch on the first live as well. So I'm just getting the kinks out. If you remember last week, a lot of you were concerned about how Stretch is doing. As you can see, he's on his feet. He's doing well. Perhaps a slight concussion. We treated the shoulder. Everything's all good. He's no longer concussed, feeling better. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's this right here, last video. Check for sure. Yeah, that's a bad day. Bad day. So if you're missing some of these live workouts, you're missing some of the chaos that I can't really control. So good stuff. We're back on, and as I promised, we were going to do another live today. So here we are. Now it is legs part 2. If you notice, I am on the side delts as well. So I decided, so you can see some of the muscle contractions, we're going to put the black pads on the hamstring. So if you are setting up the RX with me, the black lead will be on the back of the hamstring and the center belly. So if you could see this, that's the glute, that's the crease below the glute, and here's the back of the knee. So this section right here is basically your hamstring. We want to go right in the center portion of that. Now with the lead, I'm going vertically or long ways along with that hamstring. And then on the red, as you can see here, I'm on the side delts. So we'll just go side delt there. Going horizontally. Now, as you can see, I'm actually using the high performance pads. So the pads are a little bit different. They're 4x3 as opposed to 4x2 pads. If you haven't had a chance to check these out, they're a little pricier, and there's only 2 of them in a pouch. So you're gonna have to get 2 pouches to make it work. I've used the same ones for the last month or so, and I absolutely love them. They're by far my favorite pads. So if you do a lot of these workouts, you're going through a lot of movement, I highly recommend it. Check it out on our shop at arpneuro.com. All right, let's get the settings on. We're going to set it to 10 minutes, if you could see that. As you can see on the polarity, all the presets are there. We're going to be going 40 pulses per second. The duty cycle is 5/1. And of course, that's 50/50 polarity. Again, the black lead is going to be on the center portion of the hamstring. You could do this seated, you could do it standing, but for the most part, it's just about pushing, forward on a lot of those, kind of pushing that force on that output power. If you're joining in live, I will be able to answer your questions. So whether it's StreamYard, maybe it's on Instagram, maybe it's on YouTube, make sure you leave it in the live comment section. I will answer it. If you happen to not be live, you're best off to, if you have any questions, reach out to us at info@arpneuro.com. The reason being is, and it's right there below, info@arpneuro.com. I don't go back to the comments to answer that. All we're going to do is refer you to info@arpneuro.com. It's much easier for me to control the comments. So don't be offended if I don't answer your comments on social media after this live video. But if you do want your comments answered through live, that's a good time to ask me. It's the best opportunity to get live responses. So keep that in mind as well. All right, let's get the party started. At 10 minutes, normal polarity. It will start with the hamstrings. Heavier hit will be on hamstrings, and this will be the secondary. So I'm going to hit start. Time is counting down. Go ahead and hit that output power, and then you want to start ramping that up. Start light, 10 minutes. Once you start feeling the tolerance, the intensity of it, you can certainly start to crank it up. One thing I do recommend in some cases, if you don't know where that output power should be at least for your max, then keep it on continuous. So instead of 5/1, as you can see there, you would just go on that regular prompt 1/0. That's constant contractions. And then you get to your max and you can slowly kind of turn it up. I'm probably confusing this at this point. Otherwise, go to 5/1 like me. And as it's ramping up, you'll watch it on my my side delt here. It's turning up. So I'm going to turn it up. And there's some real power there. Now we're getting some good weight. Side delts will feel it. Hamstrings certainly feel it heavier. But this is a lighter or a smaller muscle. So regardless of the lighter hit, those side delts will definitely feel it. And it hits like a hammer. Good stuff. Now, I haven't been showing anything with movement just yet. For the most part, I sit here. I recommend you just kind of, take the current, good posture. You could, again, you can sit here. You can stand, and I will show you, one of the movements you can do, especially with hamstrings. So the current is on now, but I'll wait for it to go on again. Here's another trick to it. So really focusing on the loaded stretch portion. Right now when I'm standing, that's not the actual stretch of the hamstring. Now it's going on. I'm going to lean forward and I want a good stretch with that hamstring. So, an RDL is a good one. It really stretches it out. I'm not bending my knees, just keeping that stretch there. If you want to keep it even simpler, you can just go to like a knee touch or a toe touch. And even round the back, that's okay. I do like to kind of keep the back straight when I'm focusing predominantly on hamstrings. But yeah, once it's off, then I will relax. It's going on again. And you just kind of bow forward, really feeling that stretch. Nice. Yes. Fantastic. And we'll keep it going. So that's the standing portion. Otherwise, you had a long day at work and you're just like, wow, I really just don't want to do much. Well, that is the beauty of this device. You don't have to do a lot of movement and you can still get some deep muscle contractions and really range of motion and strength just by essentially sitting here. Now, someone asked me on the last session, actually through info@arpmonroe.com, right there, boop. Any questions, reach it out there. But, asked me, what do we do in a case where, give me 1 second. Let's turn this up. If you haven't been going up, make sure you go up. What is the actual benefits of just sitting here getting muscle contractions? Why would one choose to do this other than just wanting to be lazy? I will tell you this. Anybody who's worked on this device, who has felt this technology, knows that even if you're sitting here getting muscle contractions, it's not really taking it easy. There's work to this. Towards the end of this workout, I will start to sweat. And if you push the numbers properly, it is hard work. The beauty of it is a couple of components when you sit down. First off, I'm not putting any weight on my joints. So that's a wonderful thing, especially if you're having issues with your joints. I always talk about, having some pain when I first started. I had a little medial epicondylitis, AKA tennis or golfer's elbow. And when I started using this device, kind of took a break with the heavier weight. This was able to strengthen the muscles around that area, and the medial epicondylitis or golfer's elbow essentially went away. And I was able to strengthen those muscles. So that's one of the benefits. That rule applies to anything, whether it's knees, elbow, low back, ankles, you name it. It has its benefits to do things like that. The secondary component is, in some cases, movement can create some inflammation. And if you're trying to stay away from cases where you want to reduce the inflammation, rubbing on tight muscles. Another case sometimes, and I've had this issue before, where tendons can kind of rub against a bone or a nodule, and that can create inflammation. So even if you're getting healthy range of motion, you're still creating inflammation by rubbing against that. So what you can do is literally strengthen those muscles, increase that range, and you're not actually rubbing against the joint. You're not rubbing any tendons against any nodule or any bone. So you're not increasing inflammation, you're actually decreasing. Movement can sometimes do that. I'm not suggesting that's always the case. A lot of times I'll even say movement is medicine, and that's one of the part of this therapy that makes it so wonderful. But in some cases, movement isn't really possible. So as a result, you can do it this way and definitely see some results. I'm turning it up because we only have 4 minutes left on this polarity. And yes, that weight load is definitely heavier. Woo. Yeah, it's hitting like a hammer now. Oh. Again, if you're joining in live, whether it's Instagram, it's YouTube, maybe StreamYard, wherever you're at, feel free, leave it in the comment section. Let me know what's going on. If you have any questions, if you have any questions beyond the live, it's right here. Info. I'll point that to that a few times. info@artmerrill.com. Now you might see me starting to press on these pads. I'm going on week 6 using these pads. And just now have I noticed I have to kind of, put some pressure on them to restick them. But even still, I'm still kind of like putting a lot of pressure. You see that? How it kind of curls with the delt, that side delt? It's still not tenting up like those stiffer pads do. So I can't tell you, I don't have anything but good things to say about these high performance pads. And, I've been using them pretty consistently. So we got 3 minutes left and I'm going up. What number are you guys at? When it starts to subside, and it will, you want to kind of push those numbers. You don't have a lot of time. I'm pretty low today, probably because of the long day. This is supposed to be a morning workout. When I say low, I'm at 35. It's not a numbers race as much as it is just a tolerance. Another question I will constantly get is, Jake, how high do you know to go up with this machine? I say the same thing over and over again. Go as high as you can tolerate, so long as you're not compromising form. So as long as I'm sitting here and I can control this, and I'm not like, kind of going into these weird convulsions that I can't really control through this, I'm okay here. If I can tolerate it and kind of keep this position, wonderful. If I'm standing up and I can keep that good stretch, doing that, Roman deadlift, movement, beautiful. Oh. If you're starting to feel a little fatigue, you're pushing the numbers correctly. This shouldn't take long for you to start to feel that heavy hit like a hammer. Oi, let's go up. I'm trying to make my way up to 40. All right, we're almost there. We're there. Oh boy. Now the next goal is 50. I got a minute and a half. Numbers are nothing more than the gauge, though. Don't let it ruin the actual process of what you're going through. Numbers are great. There used to be a misconception that you have to get to 100 on this if you're going to get any results. That's nonsense. I've treated a lot of people at low numbers. It was their maximum tolerance, and their maximum tolerance produced the results for them. So don't think you have to get to 100 to see anything. Look at that lightning behind me. Got some storms going. Love it. It's perfect. Creating lightning in our body and lightning out there. I hope it doesn't attract lightning to me. My last words. 40 seconds, and then we will hit reverse. We are doing 20 minutes today. You don't have to. If you're feeling like pretty fatigued now, you can just call it a 10-minute workout. In some cases, I will do 5 minutes and then reverse. But I wanted to really make sure I got the benefit of hitting those hamstrings on legs part 2. Boy, look at those contractions. See, it just kind of pulls out all those striations. I'm doing nothing. It's like flexing for me. There it is. My goodness. It is one of the reasons I wanted it on side delt, so you can see a little bit. It's kind of harder to show the legs. Oh, on the hamstrings. I was on quads last time. I was able to show you a little bit of that. Okay. Well, that's the first 10 minutes out of the way. Take a little break if you need to. And I'm going to go ahead. When you see that polarity, hit normal. And you should see reverse and normal. And you want to tap on that reverse button right there. So that just means now the heavier hit is starting with side delts, going down to hamstrings. Side delts, I'm not going to lie, this one's going to be a hammer. So you're probably not going to go as high as you did with the black running as normal polarity. If you are, maybe you should be walking on your hands because, wow. All right, set it to 10 minutes. So there we go. 10 minutes on reverse, 5/1, 40 pulses per second, balanced at 50-50. Now, if you do feel imbalanced, you can always adjust that balance more to one side or the other, which one is feeling less. All right, I'm gonna hit start. Let's get it on. Turn it up. Seeing a little current there. Whew, already higher, and I just hit 20. So, by the way, on that last set, I did get up to 50, but it didn't stay very long. It was like the last 20 seconds. It doesn't really count. So we're going to say 45. Oh, I know going through this company, I have a reputation of getting up to 100, but it's not always easy, especially if you're dealing with a lot of breakdowns. And not only that, I'm doing actual weight training on top of this. So when you merge the two, which you can, a lot of times it becomes a little more difficult to get to those higher numbers. When I was doing this specifically during COVID without weights, my goal would be to get up to 100 every single day on every single body part, which is one of the reasons I think I got really good at it. So here we are. Ugh. Can one get too much current in their body where it's unhealthy? That's a good question. You know, there's no actual response to that I don't know. But I will say, continuing with our protocols, you know, don't worry again so much about how much current you're taking, as much as it is focusing on not compromising form. If you're doing movements, nice smooth movements, and just go as much as you can tolerate. I will say, if you max this out, it won't hurt you. I have tested this, and there's a doctor that can vouch for this because he was the one helping to turn me up. I had 4 of these RXs on my body at once. I had 4 pads on my right arm, 4 pads on my left arm, 4 pads on my leg, 4 pads on my other leg, and we got them all up to 100. So I'm relatively okay. Feel that thunder. I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder, but it's really, yeah, beautiful Florida weather. All right, I'm turning it up. Ooh, we're almost at 30. Oh, man, I weaned it out just before it started. One thing I will say is don't be afraid to push the numbers. Oh, you know, whatever your best numbers are, that's what they are. But don't be afraid to keep going up and literally trying to improve on that. That's truly how you're going to see those benefits. I'm not at 35. Well, that's quite all right. You don't have to be at 35 to see results, like I was saying. The only reason I share numbers is I know there's a lot of competitive people out there. And so they want to know, what am I doing? And to keep it fair, I'm working on getting a camera where you can focus on how I turn it up and, you know, getting specific numbers so you can keep an eye on that. But trust me, I'm not cheating you. Currently, I'm at a 32, but it is heavier on the delts. Oh, boy. I'm feeling the lightning in my body, and I'm seeing the lightning outside. This is awesome. Woo! Yeah. Can you guys hear it? I wish my mic would pick it up. Oh, it's hitting like a hammer now. All right. See, in this case, I'll have to look at that and make sure I'm not going to muscle fatigue. All right, there we go. Let's try this again before I go up. So I want to make sure, you know, again, even though I'm not doing movements, I want to make sure I can keep a good position. And this is what I would deem as a good position. It's when I was starting to do this That's a compensation. This is not natural. You want to make sure you have a good posture. Now I can go up. Oh, maybe after this. Oh boy. All right. It's pushing back because it knows I want to get to 40. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, who's doing this with me? Someone else is. Queen B is, because Queen B says she's not at 35. And to not be at 35 means you're either doing it or you're just not at 35 because you're doing it. Oh, man. What did he just say? I have no idea. Oh, let's go up. Ever so slowly, trying to get to 40. Again, so when you get intense enough, it's insane on how heavy the weight feels. That's why I like the 5/1, because it does give you a slight break while you're waiting to get more current, and you can tend to go up a little bit higher. I would argue that if you keep this on continuous, you could literally do a 5-minute workout and it would almost be sufficient. I got to 40, by the way. Maybe you could tell the difference in that contraction. Whew, I'm getting fatigued. That's what I love about the live video. You can't fake it. Oh, I guess you could try to fake it, but you could see I am not flexing this. It's doing it for me. 4 minutes and 21 seconds. This would be crazy if I could actually get my shoulders as high as my legs today. I'm not quite there yet. Oh, here we go. I don't think I'll get to 50 in 4 minutes. There's some of that lightning. Come on, is it coming? Is Halloween here yet? Who else likes Halloween and thunderstorms? That's me. Just me. Oh, I could barely raise my hand when I did that. One rule I'll say is when you're on this machine during Halloween, turn up that output power so you don't become a Halloweenie. That's my dad joke of the day. It's a good one. This is why we can't have nice things, because of bad jokes like that. Whew. I went to 41 and it felt like I went to 60. Maybe I'm the Halloweenie. All right, here's 42. We're almost there. 3 minutes. Come on, hang tough with me. I make that full 20 after all. I'm going to check YouTube, make sure no one's got any questions. Keep up the good work. Yeah, this one's no joke. I've gotten a lot of people asking me about core and what you do for your abs and core in general, because that involves your low back as well. Can this give you abs? That's always a fun question. No, you already have abs. Will it make your abs show? No, it will not. To see your abs, that comes down to nutrition. So you want good nutrition. That's truly going to be, that whole thing in the past, abs are made in the kitchen. There's a lot of truth to that. Your diet and your nutrition and eating lean, healthy proteins, that's going to be where it's at. I would even say fatty proteins in good ways. I'm a big fan of red meat as well. But yeah, that's where abs are going to be seen. Now, can you strengthen your abs and your core in general and your lower back by doing this? Absolutely. You like that joke? Abs. So you get it. Never mind. But what I will say is, as you strengthen your core and then you in turn improve your nutrition, your abs will definitely be more three-dimensional and you will see them better. So they're just going to be more beautifully sculpted than what they already are. Everybody has abs. It's just you're not always going to see them. I have 1 minute left. Why am I not going up? Too busy running my mouth. Wee! This is fun. I accidentally went to 45. I say accidentally. I was not trying to go to 45. I was trying to go to 43. I'm sweating. Pads are still doing very well. Last minute. Oh man. Yes. With the lightning, baby. The lightning internal and external. Let's get up to 45, shall we? No more messing around the last 40 seconds. That's still not 45, by the way. That's 43. I got 30 seconds. I'm pushing it. All right, no more weaning out. I got to 50 on my last one. Here's 45. Here it is. Oh my goodness. This doesn't play. Okay, that's probably my max for today. I'll get up to 100. He's probably not even at 45. I got to show you in 8 seconds. 5 seconds. You can just have to take my word for it. It's about to pop. It's 45. If you can see real quickly, it just shut off. Whew. All right. Side delts and hamstrings. There it is. Good combination. I was, if you really wanted a more extreme hamstring workout, you can certainly double the pads up just to give you an idea. If you were watching this and you wanted other ideas with just specifically hamstrings, here's a couple other placements that I do all the time. So black just below the crease of the glute, and then red just above the popliteus, both going horizontally. You're covering the hamstring that way. Here's another one I like. Bring that back up to piriformis, also going horizontally, and then center belly hamstring, just like that, going vertically. So there's a couple of options as well if you're just kind of watching, and these have been very effective. Again, I wanted to show this just to see some muscle contractions. I think this makes this video a little bit more compelling. Those of you who've never felt this machine, I want you to see it in action. There's one last thing I might have showed this before. I want to show you contraction speeds. So we've been running these on 40 pulses per second. That zeroes in. It is a heavier hit. If you felt this is the one I truly like for strength. But for the most portion, 500 is a lot of the treatment style, and it's a lot faster. You can do it on this works very well in movement, but watch the speed of this 500. Almost tickly in some point. Look at that. Oh, see how much faster that's going. I'm barely even moving. But striation's going really quickly through that pad, if you could see that. Let me go up a little bit more. So that's 500, really moving it. And as I turn it up, really speeds up. But yeah, you could do it on 500 as well. Right now I am on continuous. I see that now. I'm on continuous. If you did this entire workout on continuous, perfectly okay. It is what I would consider the more advanced version. So congratulations, you raised the bar without us actually raising the bar. There's a component behind the 5/1 as to why I like that one, where there's stages. So, I guess the first stage would be 2/1. This just means you have 2 cycles and then 1 cycle of rest. We go 5/1. I consider that more of the advanced version where it stays with contractions longer and then gives you for about 1 cycle through, which 1 cycle is like 3 to 4 seconds, 3 to 5 seconds. So if you're doing continuous, you're getting constant contractions on these areas. You essentially have 0 break. That's a lot of times when I want to go a faster workout, or if I want to kind of prove a point to somebody who doesn't realize how good this technology is, I will put it on their biceps and I'll say in 5 minutes, I'll make your arm sore for 2 days. And it's never failed me. And not that it's bad sore, it's good sore. It's delayed onset muscle soreness from doing actual traditional workouts without putting pressure on the joints. This device is absolutely amazing. You could tell, hopefully, that there's a lot of people who have been a part of this for years for a lot of reasons. I hope it's obvious on how passionate I am about it, which is one of the reasons I've always tried to share some of the components that this thing can do that in many cases, you just have to see it in action for you to understand that. So wonderful to see everybody joining in on Instagram and as well as YouTube. Thank you for your comments. If you do like this video, hit the like button. Make sure you share it with your friends and family and say, hey, check this crazy device out. And, make sure you come back on Thursday, which will go back to our normal time, Thursday, 9 a.m., Central Standard Time. It will be live, but if you missed the live, not to worry because this video will be posted regardless. So make sure you check that out and dive into it. If there is something you want to see, whether it's with strength training, what this device can do with certain things and pains, we'll get to that portion. But especially on the performance side, let me know because I'll put that in the repertoire and we'll show some of that as well. But Thursday is going to be a good day because we're going to go into some other stuff and we'll start to involve some fancier things that this device can do on a higher level. If you have the traditional pads and you have not tried these high performance pads out, I do recommend you, when you get a chance, to check that out as well. And that's right there, ARP Neuro, shoparpneuro.com. Any questions on the science? There's some of it right there. Just go to our website, once again, arpneuro.com under science. And if you are one of our clients, whether you have an RX or you have a PRS, which is this smaller device, and you want to kind of delve a little deeper in what this does, feel free to sign up for training. Boom, they're right there. That's the beauty of buying through us. We will work with you and answer any questions you have in regards to this technology. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And in the meantime, I don't know, stay lit up, enjoy the lightning. I'll see you on Thursday.